Good evening to all of you. Myself,
Yes.
Dr. K. Anuradha, working as professor in the Department of Home Science, Sri Venkataeswara University, Tirupati. At the onset, on behalf of the organizing committee and also on my own behalf, I welcome you all to this international webinar on emotional intelligence and for the positive mental health. So before we start, we will start the program with a prayer. Now I request Ms. Swarna, pursuing MSc Home Science in Human Development and Child Welfare branch, to sing prayer for the webinar. Ms. Swarna.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening,
Good evening.
sir. Good evening. Good evening, one and all. అందరం కళ్ళు మూసుకుందాం. గురుర్ బ్రహ్మా గురుర్ విష్ణుః గురుదేవో మహేశ్వరః గురు సాక్షాత్ పరబ్రహ్మ తస్మై శ్రీ గురవే నమః.
Thank you, Swarna. Before extending formal welcome, I would like to mention the organizations involved in jointly conducting the present day international webinar. Initiation of the webinar has been made by Mindcraft EQ4 Peace Worldwide Inc. USA, and it is jointly organizing the webinar in collaboration with Department of Home Science, Sri Venkataeswara University, Tirupati, and Department of Psychology, Sri Padmavati Mahila VisvaVidyalayam, Tirupati. And I feel happy that our Department of Home Science is one of the organizations jointly collaborating with the webinar. And today we are honored this evening by the presence of Mr. Matt Perelstein, CEO, EQ4 Peace Worldwide Inc. USA, a renowned orator about emotional intelligence. We heartfully welcome you to the webinar, Mr. Matt. Welcome you, sir. And I humbly invite consultant psycho behavior therapist, Dr. Jayan Nambudri, who is CEO of Mindcraft and EQ4 Peace India. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
I also warmly invite Dr. Pratiksha, who is also CEO of the same organization. Welcome you, ma'am. I feel happy to invite dynamic lady, Dr. KVS Sucharita, a colleague of mine and also at present head of the Department of Home Science. Welcome, Dr. Sucharita. And it gives me immense pleasure to invite cheerful and energetic lady, Dr. N. Rajini, head Department of Psychology, Sri Padmavati Mahila VisvaVidyalayam, a sister university in Tirupati town. Welcome, Dr. Rajini. And to all other distinguished participants, my colleagues, faculty from Padmavati Mahila VisvaVidyalayam, academic consultants, research scholars, and to the students from both Sri Venkataeswara University and Padmavati Mahila VisvaVidyalayam, I have extend a very warm welcome to you all. And I will say a few words about the webinar. The title of today's webinar is Emotional Intelligence for Positive Mental Health, which has been planned to conduct in the context of World Mental Health Day, 10th October, which is celebrated every year to raise awareness about mental health. WHO has defined health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. We all give more importance to the physical health, but sometimes we neglect the important components, that is psychological and social well-being. Generally, we feel that a student is very good in academics, then we say that he has good IQ and he is a book smart. He may get good marks and he may get a good job, but If the person could not identify his or her own emotions, if a person could not control his or her emotions, if he could not perceive how others feel, and he does not have empathy and social skills, that person may not be able to succeed in life. So the term emotional intelligence was proposed by two psychologists, Mayer and Saloveri, and the credit of popularizing the term emotional intelligence or emotional quotient has been by a famous psychologist, Daniel Goleman. And he suggested this concept of emotional intelligence and emotional quotient that is more important than IQ for success in life. And one most important thing about emotional intelligence is that it can be taught and it can be strengthened. So as a person belonging to the specialization of human development and child welfare in the Department of Home Science, we constantly strive for helping students to develop life skills to meet the demands and challenges of life. For that, they need to be self-aware, socially aware, and also good at maintaining interpersonal relationships. That means they must have emotional intelligence or emotional quotient. So I believe that the students will get benefited from this program and will pave their way to successful life. So with this, once again, I welcome you all to the webinar. Now I request our head of the department, Dr. Sucharita, to give a brief introduction about Department of Home Science and our collaboration with this organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anuradha. A very good evening to all of you. It's my very pleasure that we are in collaborating doing this webinar with the Mindcraft and also with the CEO EQ for Peace Worldwide USA. So thank you for giving this opportunity to collaborate with you, Dr. Jay and Dr. Matt Perliston. And a few words about our department. The Department of Home Science is in the University, Sri Venkataeswara University, which is 75 years old, spread in 1,000 acres of land under the Lord Balaji temple, a world famous temple located in our city, Tirupati. The Department of Home Science is also 70 years old department, and we have 4 specializations currently running in the department, MSc programs. One is Food Science, Nutrition and Dietetics, MSc Human Development and Child Welfare, MSc Extension, Education and Communication Technology, MSc Food Technology. So every year we have around 100 students enrolling into these MSc programs, and we are our students are spread worldwide in many of the institutions working in different positions. So as people are waiting to hear the Matt Perliston lecture, I'm not going in depth about the department. So this is a brief introduction about your department. Thank you, Radha Madam, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. And
thank you, Dr. Sucharita. Now I request Dr. Jayan Nambudri, sir, to say a few words about the organization and its contribution towards mental health.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good evening and a warm welcome to one and all present here. On the occasion of World Mental Health Day, we are arranging one international webinar. This Mindcraft is a joint venture started by Steps for Skills, Thrissur, Kerala, and Shivai Consultancy, Rajkot, Gujarat. It was founded by myself and Dr. Pradiksha, who are working in the field of positive mental health. We have also collaborated with EQ for Peace Worldwide INC USA. We have established ourselves with the aim of providing solutions to the mental health issues which are prevalent in our society. We are committed to fostering awareness, management, and mastery of positive mental health based on emotional intelligence, creating peace from the inside out. Our organization aims to spread awareness of about various psychological instabilities that leads to major health issues. Our commitment is to create social awareness, eradicate and overcome the social stigma, and to improve positive mental health in our society for a harmonious life. We have conducted many national and international webinars, workshops, and training programs on related to positive mental health and emotional intelligence areas. Thank you very much for providing this opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. N. Rajani, Head Department of Psychology, to give a brief introduction about her department in Mahila VisvaVidyalayam and also introduction about today's speaker, Dr. Matt.
Yeah,
Thank
you. Thank you very much, Professor Anuradha. Very good evening to you all and welcome you all for the webinar also. And I'm very happy to be here on this platform today. So first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Nambudri Garu for giving us this opportunity to collaborate with this activity. And before introducing the keynote speaker, just I would like to say a few words about our university. So ours is an Sri Padmavati Mahila VisvaVidyalayam. It's a women's university. It's founded in the year 1983 with a fervent desire to train women students as better builders of the nation and to inculcate skills of leadership in all aspects of life. So as of now, we have 59 courses at the postgraduate and undergraduate level, and a good component of research and extension activities are also going on. It is a state university and recognized by the UGC, and our university it's a kind of second of its kind in India and first in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So in the year 2021, in our university, we started the Department of Psychology. It's still in an infant stage. The department has MOUs with SV Medical College and Sri Venkataeswara Institute of Medical Sciences. Our students will be posted there for internship. And our university established a helpline to provide psychological counseling support service during this COVID-19 period. Our university has consistently been an achiever, and it has been accredited with the A grade, and we have very good networks with the national and international agencies also. So just I would like to give these brief details about your university. Then coming to the keynote speaker, today, actually the task of introducing our keynote speaker is a great privilege to me. I feel elated to introduce Mr. Matt Pelstein. Mr. Matt Pelstein is a co-founder and CEO, EQ for Peace Worldwide, USA. Mr. Matt holds a bachelor's degree in business management and industrial relations from Colorado State University, Colorado, USA in 1981. Since then, he has acquired numerous distinctions, certifications, and awards, including selection to Who is Who Worldwide 2019 and Professional of the Year of Nonprofit Education 2020. He received the Dean of International Peace Prize at Punjab University, Chandigarh, India in 2019. Mr. Matt's real strength comes from his experience teaching emotional intelligence over 35 years to both students and trainers also. He believes that mastering our emotional intelligence is the key to our happiness, success, inner peace, and mental health, and even for survival also. So actually, we don't learn all these critical skills in school, at home, or at work. So he and his team are on a mission to teach the world the emotional intelligence, how to successfully manage our inner world, inner peace, interpersonal peace, and social peace, because all of this will lead to the global peace. So really, we are very fortunate enough today to have Mr. Matt on this platform. So I invite you all to join in welcoming our keynote speaker, Mr. Matt. So I welcome you, Mr. Matt, for this platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajni. Sir, it is the time now to hear from you. We are all eagerly waiting to hear from you, sir. Now I request Mr. Matt to deliver his speech and enlighten us about the emotional intelligence and emotional quotient. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very honored to be here. I appreciate you having me. I appreciate having Mindcraft involved and being interested in emotional intelligence. We're working toward peace. We're working toward inner peace and interpersonal peace and big peace. We're working toward peace. So this is the point of all of this. And so very happy to be here. I talk fast and I get excited because it's an exciting subject. I love this subject. I love talking about it. I love that people are interested in it. A lot of people don't know about emotional intelligence. They never even considered the concept that we can be smart about our thoughts and our feelings, never even considered it. And so it's really feels very good for me. And we have our nonprofit and we're trying to change the world. Tell everybody about it. It's just wrong that kids don't learn this in school growing up. Little kids can understand about their emotions if we'll teach them. We got to teach them. We teach them a lot of good stuff in school, but we don't talk much about our inner world, and that's a big problem. That's a big problem, especially today. So thank you for having me. I'll go ahead and share my screen. I want you guys, if you would, I would like you to be involved some, if as much as you want to be in the chat at least, or raise your hand, or you can unmute even if you want to, and let's talk. We've got 90 minutes. We got a lot to do, but I want it. It's this experiential thing, emotion. I can't just tell you about your emotions and you go, oh, okay, I got it. It's like learning to swim without getting in the water. You can't do it. You can't do it. So you gotta go inside and look some and feel some about you and then make it work for you. So I'm not selling anything except for I'm selling you to you. I'm selling you to your emotions, to your insides. That's what I want you to leave with, is being a good friend of yourself and understanding yourself. So anybody have anything they want to say right now? It's okay. Go ahead and put it in the chat. I started this welcome, but I'd like to have some involvement with you guys instead of me just looking at a bunch of black boxes. It's kind of weird. But it's okay. I'm going to ask you to answer some questions, and I like the answers in the chat partially, but also we're going to try something this time and try some breakout rooms. I don't know if you guys have tried those before in Zoom. Breakout rooms are where you break into 2 or 3 people in a room and answer some questions. I'll give you some leading questions, answer those, talk to each other, share a little bit, get to know somebody else. This isn't just about this isn't just about us. It's about us together. I mean, it's not just about me alone. It's about us together. Emotional intelligence is very free. It's very kind of magical, and it's about being smart. Positive mental health is about not just mental health where things are a problem, but positive mental health, because we can do better. We can do better, even though we have problems, even though we have negative emotions, even though we have trauma in our lives, we can still do better. We can do better. We can even learn how to go down in order to go up. Check that out. You can learn how to deal with our negative stuff because it's real. It's real. It's very, very real. Whether we talk about it or not, it's real. And that's the thing about mental health. We don't talk about it, but it's real. And so we need to learn how to deal with it. And the purpose, or deal with it down, but we don't have to just come back up to nothing. Or to normal. We can do better than that. We can do some amazing things. I'll go into that and you'll see from my examples in my face and my expression, and there's study after study after study now showing that emotional intelligence is amazing. It's one of the I read a research that there is it's the #1 subject written in master's and PhD thesis, by far the #1 subject these days. That's pretty cool. It's been going up like this for years because people are like, wow. Wow, this is really a big deal. And oh, by the way, I'm going to keep saying this, but EQ is emotional intelligence is completely, totally free inside of us. So use it. All we have to do is learn how to use it. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay. So get into it. Go inside, check it out, learn about you. Please, you'll be amazed. So here we go. Ready? In the next 90 minutes, I'm going to introduce you to two new life concepts, emotional intelligence and positive mental health. I'd already started here, going off on that. Help you create peace and love and joy in and around you. If everybody knows how to be more peaceful, learns how to be more peaceful, we're hoping the point of our nonprofit is that if we can teach enough people how to be peaceful, maybe we can create peace. How about that? We don't learn how to be peaceful. We don't even learn what that means or understand it or what does it feel like, etc. So we're going to talk about that. It's important. And to do that, take you inside of you. So if you're willing to go inside a little bit and check out what's going on with you, that would be really great. And that's how we make movement in here. You guys are psych folks, so this isn't brand new to you. So, but you know what I'm saying. So go inside. And we're not just looking at, oh, okay, it's mushy and it's interesting and that kind of thing. These are super practical tools. In fact, I used to say these are emotional intelligence tools were like a nice to have thing, and because they were handy and it's helpful and you feel better and that kind of thing. Not anymore. Now it's a must have. These are coping skills. These are how we get through our tough times. And this is a tough time. I can tell you the numbers of like domestic violence and child abuse and divorce and suicides are skyrocketing. I don't know if you guys know, but they're trying not to talk too much about it, but man, it's bad. It's bad. Oh, in your culture and in ours, really bad, especially in younger folks, especially in you guys as an age group. In fact, a lot of you here. So please, this is in my opinion, this is the antidote. This is how we stay alive. This is how we not commit suicide when things are really, really bad, because we're learning how to deal with the bad. And then we don't have to do that. We can be better. We can do better. So very important. To what I'd like is for you to put more emphasis on your emotions. One of my slides says that emotions are much more powerful than you ever thought possible. And it's incredible, right? A lot of people, oh no, thoughts, it's all about your cognitive, and the feeling is just kind of a thing that we have to deal with. And then we go on about our life, right? Cognitive behavioral therapy, cognitive left brain behavioral, they skip the emotion completely. We're like, no, you can't skip it. You can't skip it. So we made cognitive affective behavioral therapists, CABT. Anyway, emotions matter, and if you can make them more important and less judgment on them for yourself and others, you'll do much better in your life, guarantee it. And share this with others. There's nobody knows this stuff. People don't know. They don't know, and they don't know that they don't know. So we got to tell them, we got to introduce them. It becomes our responsibility when we know some about emotional intelligence and they don't, to tell people, everybody, tell them, please share it with them. Doesn't cost you anything, doesn't cost them anything. You'll be a hero. You can change their life forever. It's wild. It's wild. Even that question, I've had people change their life just from that question. Have you ever heard of emotional intelligence? And they're like, what? I said, emotional intelligence, being smart about your feelings. They're like, oh, what a great idea, right? That kind of thing. You're like, oh, that's the comment. A lot of times people have no idea. We're doing this here, right? So, you're going to change your life and create some peace and share with others. So check in. Let's start going inside, you guys. Let's start going inside. Check in with yourself. What are you feeling right now? Just ask yourself. Just go inside for a second and check out. What are you feeling? Here's some words for you. Give me some, get started with. You pick anything you want. There's lots and lots and lots of words that talk about feelings, but check them out. The awareness is always first. And I'm going to say this a bunch of times in here. Awareness is first. Open your eyes, open your heart, look inside, understand you, look at you, see you, feel you. Is anybody being brave enough to put in the chat what they're feeling? 1 or 2 or 3 words, whatever it is, up, down, sideways, doesn't matter. What, put in the chat, what are you feeling? Anybody? Okay. Okay. So I'll keep going. EQ is a meta study, we call it, which is us looking at us. We're studying ourselves and how we function both alone and with others. They're very different and they're both critical. As you know, we're social creatures, and with COVIDs and lockdowns and such, we are separating people and disconnecting, and yikes. Yeah, that means that people are left alone in a room with themselves, with their thoughts and their feelings. That's it. What are you going to do with it? You don't know how to deal with them. Right? It doesn't go well. It's not going well. It's not going well at all. In jail, we put people in jail. The worst of the worst, we put them in what we call solitary confinement. That's the worst thing that we can do to people besides executing them, is putting people in solitary confinement. That's in a room by themselves. In criminal justice, it's called I just lost the word, but anyway, in COVID's terms, it's called lockdown. So solitary confinement. So anyway, so we need to look at ourselves. We need to understand ourselves. We need to be able to deal with ourselves, with our own selves. People are afraid of their own selves, and that's not cool. People are afraid of their emotions because they don't understand them, and that's not cool. That is not cool. So we call it metacognition, thinking about what we think about, right? And meta emotion, I'm not sure if that's actual word, but it's feeling about what we feel. What do you feel about what you feel? Interesting, huh? And if you look at you and learn about you and understand you, it's pretty wild. Here's my definition: positive mental health. I made this up. So positive mental health is always talking about problems and issues and mental health. Oh gosh, I don't want to talk about that, and that kind of thing. So, but it doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to deal just with the problem. We do have to deal with the problems. We do have to deal with the problems. We don't have to only deal with the problems, like positive psychology. If you know the history of positive psychology, it came from Dr. Seligman said, wait a minute, we've been doing therapy for 2,000 years. And the purpose of therapy was to get people from the problems that they're having, the negative, back to normal. Get them back to normal, quote unquote. And he said, come on, we can do better than that. We can do better than that. We don't have to stop at normal. We can watch people and find people that are doing pretty darn good and see how they do that. Rocket science. This is not rocket science, you guys. And watch what they do and try and do that. And we can do better than normal. Same thing with positive mental health. Mental health has a negative connotation to it. It doesn't need to, because learning about how to go down properly, down into our negative emotions, and then come back up and keep going, we can do some amazing things. So we can do better. We can learn to deal with the down in order to go up. Check that out. So, but I can tell you the down part, we do need to deal with that. And it is uncomfortable. It is ugly sometimes. It does not feel good. It is scary, all that kind of stuff. And we got to be brave, and we got to understand ourselves. That's why we need to experience it. That's why we need to understand and really get a feel for our feelings, so that we can go, oh, okay, that is sadness, or that is fear. That's my fear. And they're like, okay, or that's my anger. Okay, it's not that big a deal. What people are doing, especially in the United States, is they go, I'm so angry that I've got to kill myself. I'm so angry because I have no idea what to do with it. Or here, you guys don't do this. We go, oh, well, let's go kill somebody else. We'll go, shoot up a bunch of kids because I'm angry at the school, how they treated me when I was little. Come on, you guys, that's not how you deal with your anger, obviously, right? It's not that big a deal. You can be angry and not shoot anybody and not kill anybody. That's what I'm trying to teach. That's a big deal. That's positive mental health. Quit killing people and yourself, because people assume they don't know how to deal with it. It's so uncomfortable. I'm not willing to live this way, and it's never going to change. This is how it's going to be the rest of my life. And like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. Emotions matter. We got to learn about our emotions. We don't learn about them in school. We didn't learn about them from our parents because they didn't know. And we didn't learn about them. We sure as heck better not deal with them at work, right? So we never talk about them. So if you learn about your emotions, it's probably because you figured it out by yourself, probably in the school of hard knocks. Bam, oh, that didn't work. Oh, that didn't work. I'll try this. Like, okay, that's kind of working. Man, that's a tough way to learn and very ineffective. Now that we learned some about emotions, we're trying to make it as effective and simple and clear as we can. So there's 3 things we need to deal with. 3 things: thoughts, feelings, actions. Cognitive, affective, behavioral. Thoughts, feelings, actions, right? Those are the big 3. That's cool. It's really, like I said, this isn't rocket science. This is simple stuff. It ain't easy sometimes, but it is very simple. We have thoughts, okay, and we have feelings. Those are different though, you guys. They are very different, and you got to understand both of them, and you got to understand which does what and how to manage them and all that kind of stuff. But you can't not think, and you can't not feel. You could try, but we do in a lot of ways sometimes, but so our body is giving us tons of great information, and our thoughts and our feelings, and then we make decisions, and then we act on those or don't act on those, right? There should be thought, feeling, decision, action, really. And so we have, but what I'm jumping up and down about, the point of this is that we have thoughts first, and then we have feelings, and both of them matter. And if we take both of them into account, we're going to make much better decisions. We're going to take much better actions, like not killing ourselves, and we are going and have a better life, actually, if we take into account both our thoughts and our feelings properly. So thought, feeling, decision, action. Decision's the key. So this is kind of fun slide about going back and forth. Our left and right brain. This isn't exactly how it works, but it's a cool presentation of it. You logical left brain. Da, 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 da. I think that makes sense. Yes, that's what I understand. This is what I learned. It's your knowledge and your information all in your left brain. Things in order. Your right brain, however, is more where I live, which is your passion and your creativity and your senses and all your feelings are over on your right brain. We don't learn much about those. We're pretty good on our left brain, not so good on our right brain. So I'm saying we got to balance them too. We've got to increase our right brain functioning and our understanding so that we can be balanced. And the way that looks, I think I was just doing the slide on that, is that if it makes sense, logic is, does it make sense? And does it feel good when we make good decisions? Do they make sense? And does it feel good? Taking into account both sides of our brain. There's good news. Ready? Here's good news. And I'm going to say this over and over again. We are in control. If you don't like what you're thinking and feeling, or if your thoughts and feelings are not working for you, you might like them, but they're not working for you, like addictions and stuff, like, I think I'll have that. Well, that's not going very well. It feels good, but it doesn't make any sense. So if they're not working for you, we can change them. We can have thoughts. We can watch our thoughts, we can listen to our thoughts, and we can ignore our thoughts. We can let them go on by, and we can have a new thought. We can replace a stupid thought or an ignorant thought or a mean thought or an ugly thought or a negative thought. We can have those, and then we can just let them go on by, like surf, like in the water, in the ocean. The waves keep on coming, and most of them we just let them go on by. Every once in a while we go, okay, I'm going to jump on that one, I'm going to go surf that one. But if it's not a cool thought, you just let it go on by, and you can make a new thought, and you can therefore make a new feeling, right? It's pretty cool. So we are in control of what's going on inside of us. Educating our mind without educating our heart is no education at all. Aristotle said. I think that's a little bit severe, but you get the idea. We're trying to educate. That's all we need to do, is find out how to work this stuff. We know we've got them inside of us. We've got their emotions and all that stuff inside of us, but we don't know how to use them. So that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to learn about this. Here's what I was just saying. IQ, we're good. EQ, not so good. Raise it up so we can fly, like this guy on the right. He can soar around. The other guy's going to go around in circles because he's only got his thoughts and he doesn't understand his feelings, and things don't go well. He's probably going to crash. All right, you get it. Oh, here we go. Responsible decision making. Balance the left and right brain information. Ask yourself, does it make sense? Yep. Or and does it feel good? Does it or feel right? Is another way to put that. Some stuff makes a lot of sense, but it feels awful. Some stuff feels really good, but it doesn't make any sense. Don't do it, right? Be careful. I'm just saying, it's an awareness thing. It's awareness thing. So it's about understanding yourself, so you can make good decisions. So we're going into peace. Okay, so I don't sound very peaceful, but I'm excited. You can be excited and peaceful at the same time. I was thinking, we're talking about inner peace. Are you peaceful? So, so let's talk about peace, because that's kind of where we're going with this. We've been teaching emotional intelligence for a long, long time, and it's a good skill. It's a really good skill to have. And now we're talking about, okay, let's have it go toward peace. That's kind of the goal to this whole thing. So let's talk about inner peace, shall we? We can actually have some peace inside of us. Inner peace, just me. Like we can create peace, interpersonal peace, which is between me and you, two peoples at a time, and get along. And we can learn about social peace, how to all of us get along like we're doing right now. We got 60 people in a room and everybody's getting along, as far as I know, and we're doing it right this minute. We're having social peace right this minute in this room, and that's pretty cool. Yay us, right? So these are all teachable skills, as the professor mentioned at the beginning, which is a wonderful thing about emotional intelligence. They're teachable skills. This is not rocket science, which is anyway. So we can learn all this stuff. And again, the ultimate goal for our nonprofit is that if we can teach enough people how to be peaceful in and around them, that maybe someday we can get big peace. We can create big peace in the world. So there is a science to it, how our mind works, how our synapses work, how our amygdala works, how our prefrontal cortex works, how the different sides of our brain work. All scientific, very true, very real. Not my specialty. I'm not going to talk any about that. But it's true and it's real, and emotions are in you, whether you can see them or not. They're very real, and there is a very distinct science to it. My specialty is in the art of it. A bunch of you probably have more degrees than I do, but I've been teaching this stuff for a while now, and we are trying to figure out how to do it. I don't care that much about the science to it. I care more about the art to it. How do I put this to work? What do I do with this information? How do I make it work in my life and the lives of those around me? That's what I care about. But what the reality is that the science of it and the art of it is basically the IQ and the EQ of EQ put together becomes kind of magical. It's kind of magical because EQ is free. EQ is inside of us when we're born. EQ is we have as much as we want anytime we want. We just got to go inside and get it. It's pretty cool, and it absolutely costs nothing, zero, nada, nothing. So let's go. And it all starts with inner peace. It all starts with inner peace. So let's try this, you guys. Let's try that. Let's try one of the breakout rooms. I'm going to ask you a question, and I'd like for you to go inside and look for yourself, a time for yourself when you felt some inner peace in your past. Try and come up with a specific time for yourself so you can have a picture. It's really helpful for us to have a picture of where we're going or what we want, obviously, to make it happen, right? It really helps to have the picture in your mind of where we're going and what you want in yourself. So I'm going to start breakout rooms. We have 56 people. I'm going to do 20 breakout rooms, which means there's going to be 2 or 3 in each room. Everybody get a chance to talk, I hope, and I'll throw the question in when you go there as well. But share with each other and get to know each other, and go inside and look and see. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes, and I'm going to, about halfway through, I'll give you a different question, also about inner peace, but I'll pop it up in a chat inside. Okay, so 2 or 3 people in the room. If anybody has trouble, come on back out and let me know, and I'll help you because I'll be in the main room. All right. Good luck. So, how was when did you feel inner peace?
Hello. Hello.
Talking about inner peace. Yeah. Yeah, Jayan, that did not go well. We won't do that again. Only half the people got into rooms and it didn't go well. So I'll just ask the questions if you guys
I have not received the response from participants.
It's okay.
Is it to be typed
It's
or
okay.
it is to be voice message, sir?
Voice message we can do. We can do the discussion.
Students might not have understood the concept, I think.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's not clear, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are new to such.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I could able to see the question now,
Hmm.
not earlier. Yeah.
They are new to this type of interaction
Yes, yes.
and may not get into it, I think.
Okay.
It's really cool how it works, and it's a wonderful thing. It can be very, very powerful, but you got to, yeah. Gonna try it. Okay, so they should be back pretty soon, and then we'll carry on. Okay.
Students,
Okay.
have you understood the concept? Mr. Matt
Yeah.
is asking you to respond when you felt totally at peace inside of you. Tell about the situation, tell about the time when you have felt totally at peace situation. You just respond orally or by typing as a text message. Is it clear?
But you can unmute your end. Kindly unmute your mic and you can give the answer. Then after, kindly mute your mic. Otherwise, you can give the message in chat box, answer in the chat box.
Yeah, unmute you and you can interact, I think.
This is an interactive session.
Good evening, sir. I'm Divya. Can I answer?
Just continue.
Please.
Yes.
Walking in nature will make me peace, sir.
She is telling that walking in nature, she feels.
Oh, sorry. Oh, beautiful. Great. Yeah, that's it. And you felt very peaceful. You felt safe, probably. What other words would you use? You felt calm. What other words would you use walking?
Anybody else wish to share?
Kindly utilize maximum this opportunity.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. So we'll just go on.
A peaceful thing.
As a child, when I used to take bed coffee with my parents.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And in the chat,
Even
when I
I
listen
enjoyed in the
to
school.
Early in the morning,
oh,
wee hours of the
nice.
morning, my mother used to bring bed coffee. Now I am 60 plus, but whenever I felt totally safe and peaceful.
Nice. Good. Isn't it cool to have a picture of it so you can kind of get a feel for where are you going with this? What's my objective here? That was a beautiful picture with your mom. So cool. All right. Okay, so let's go on. So that's past. Okay, so that pick a time in your past when you felt that way. And let's do it again while we're thinking. So now in the future, can you imagine a time in the future when you feel when you are feeling peaceful? Imagine yourself a little older, and what is happening that you have been able to create a very happy and peaceful situation. Create a picture in your head and in your heart of where are you going? What's a goal of yours? Family? Is it with your kids maybe? Or when you graduate? You got your career ahead of you and you got a family and you just are feeling successful and satisfied. What's happening for you? If anybody like to share, that would be great. If not, that's okay. And what does it sound like? That's a cool thing too. It's a right brain, right? Picture, sound, smell, touch, taste, all in our right brain. So we're trying to activate it.
Students, now you imagine your future and when you feel totally happy and peaceful, and share your feelings. Think about your future.
Okay. Okay. So I'd suggest in the future that you are able to take some time, or when you even, another way to do it is when you're just being, when you're just in the moment, you notice that you go, wow, this is a pretty cool feeling. This is pretty neat. Take a marker of that, you know, kind of like take a snapshot of yourself, if you will. We in neuro-linguistic programming, if you guys heard of neuro-linguistic programming, it's a type of, I don't know, psychology, personal growth, whatever. I'm not sure exactly how you define it, but it is a study, and it's about how we take information in, how we store it, how we retrieve it, how we bring it back out, etc. And in NLP, they say you take a picture when you let yourself feel something like what I'm trying to create here. Let yourself feel the inner peace for a second, and then you like create an anchor, like you touch your wrist. So you feel and you touch and you feel and then you touch. And what that does is it kind of anchors it in your body. And there's the idea is that later on, when you're not feeling that, you can touch and feel. You can touch your wrist and then recreate the feeling. It's pretty cool. It's called anchoring. It's really, really neat. Again, how much does that cost, right? But it helps to have a picture of what you want to feel and what your goal for yourself. So I will go on. So the assumption here is that managing our thoughts, feelings, and actions, our EQ, can lead to inner peace. Do you agree? Can it? Can it? Is this the way to get there? What do you think? Inner peace begins, I like this one, the moment we choose not to allow a person or event to control our emotions. Like I said, this is about me being in charge of me. I want to be in charge of me. I'm a control freak in this department. I want to have power and control over my own thoughts and emotions. I do, but I want to manage them properly. I want to be able to do what I need to do inside of me, because that's the point of this whole thing. So other people don't control my emotions. People don't make you angry. People don't make me angry. People don't hurt my feelings. I do that. No one's ever made me angry. In fact, they can't. We can affect people. We can make somebody feel something physically, right? I can make you feel something physically, but I can't make you feel something emotionally without your permission. So I'm in charge of me. So I'm in charge of me. That's what I want. That's what I want to be. Emotional intelligence is about being smarter with our thoughts and our feelings and allowing ourselves to respond rather than react. Respond is, I made some sense of it. I use my left brain logic. I use my right brain emotions, and I'm making a decision. And now I'm going to do that consciously. I'm going to make good decisions and consciously take action or not take action, right? Sometimes no action is a good action. Keep your mouth shut, especially with big, strong emotions. But we are responding as opposed to reacting, where you're, oh, it's out of habit, or it's, oh, out of reaction, or, oh, I felt something, or I was triggered. That's a good big word these days about being triggered. We do triggered on purpose. Most groups and stuff. I run a bunch of groups and on Facebook and LinkedIn on emotional intelligence, and some of them are like, oh no, that could trigger you. And you know what? Some of the groups, the ones I like the best, we go, this is going to trigger you, and that's a good thing. We want you to be triggered because you can then deal with it. You can work it through. You work through the steps of understanding and working with it and allowing it and learning from your own emotions, and then moving them aside and making some things different inside of you. So we want to be triggered if you're not like me, but anyway. So there's some different components in the introduction. As mentioned, Dr. Daniel Goleman, this is one of his components of SEL and EQ are basically the same thing in my world. Mostly social and emotional learning. SEL is what it's called in schools. In all the way from preschool on up, we're now starting to have social emotional learning in schools. In some places in the United States, it's law now, which is yay, fantastic. Mental health training is law in a number of states in the United States. That is fantastic. And I understand in India, you now are required to have a counselor in each school, which is wonderful start in that direction. The best, of course, is to be able to train the teachers to put emotional learning into their all day long, all subjects. It's not a subject. I mean, it's a subject, but it's also a culture. It's a way of living. It's a way of being, is to put emotions into everything. And so that you can, so you can learn it. So this is one of the I don't know, it's the 5 components. I don't know what you call it. It's a modality. It's the way that Daniel Goleman suggested. There are other ones, but this is a good one. So let me talk about this just for a second. Starts with self-awareness. You can't do anything until we're aware, right? So we're going to be aware first, and aware of ourselves first, because the better we know us, the better people are going to make sense. The better we can get along with people, and they're going to make more sense because we make sense to us. How about that, huh? So awareness. So open your eyes, open your heart, open your mind, that to you. What that brings is self-management. So then you can manage you better. So you can understand you better. You can like you better. You can love you better. You can do better. You can get better grades. You can make more money. This is research is showing you guys, you can make more money if you're socially, emotionally aware. You can lead. You can be a manager. You can be promoted more. You can, are you ready for this? You even live longer. People live longer if they know about their emotions. Pretty wild, huh? They're showing that for real. It's wild. So you can manage yourself. You can open up your heart. You can allow this kind of stuff. This is not it's not rocket science. I said it a number of times. It's not that hard. I mean, it's not complicated, but it is painful sometimes, and difficult sometimes. It's hard, but it ain't. It's not complicated. It's just it's hard sometimes. So, but you can manage yourself. So self-awareness, self-management, then social awareness. That's about other people. Better you understand you, the better you can understand them. Your thoughts matter to you. Your feelings matter to you. And guess what? They matter to the other people too. They do. They matter to other people. If you care about what other people are thinking and feeling, guess what? They like that. And so you're going to have better relationships. That's the next one. Relationship skills, empathy, compassion, understanding, listening, caring, giving a darn. Those are relationship skills. And they're very, very teachable, as was mentioned in the introduction. These are all teachable skills. So if you want to get along better with others, talk about their thoughts and their feelings, and they're going to like that. Pretty much. Mostly people like that if you care about them. And then we're back to us. Responsible decision making again is you're putting your thoughts and your feelings both into account, and using all the great information that your body's giving you. Body's telling you what makes sense, and your body's telling you what's feeling right and feeling good. So listen to it, and so then you can make better decisions. How about that? Pretty cool, huh? And then you add your values in, of course, to that. This is one of my favorites. The benefits, many, many benefits. Emotional intelligence, many benefits. We got choices. We got freedom. My favorite. We got freedom. Ta-da! We get to choose. We get to be ourselves. We get to respond rather than react. We get to. It's freedom. I love it. The more choices we have, the more freedom we have, in my opinion. Sometimes it gets confusing. Sometimes overwhelming how many choices we have. That's a good problem. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay. It's nice to have choices. We can love more with emotional intelligence. We can love more. I like that too. We can create more intimacy. One of the greatest emotional intelligence skills, in my opinion, is being able to open our heart or close our heart. Oh, we can open our heart, and we can be, when people are safe. We're going to talk about this more. It's safety, safety, safety. When you feel safe, other person feels safe, and you want to create closeness and intimacy with anybody, anytime. You don't have to touch them. You're just intimate. You're opening your heart to them, with them, around them. That's up to you. And if they're not safe and it's not good and it doesn't feel good or whatever, you can shut it down. It doesn't mean you have to freak out or anything. It doesn't mean you even have to run away or even leave. You can sit right there in the conversation and go, you're not getting in here, buddy. You're not safe right now, or someone's having a rage or attack or in a bad mood or whatever, kind of thing. And you can kind of shut your stuff down and you're fine. You can still be peaceful, but you're not letting them go into you. Again, inner peace is from, one of the things is from not allowing other people to affect our emotions. So we go, you know what? I'm not wanting to go there right now. So anyway, it's good skill to have. We can get better results. We can be more successful. We can manage ourselves. We can be a leader if we want to. We can be a follower if we want to. We can be a teammate if we want to. We can learn all this stuff about emotional intelligence. Leadership and emotional intelligence is huge. If you have desire to be a leader in your family, in your life, in your business, in your career, then learn about emotional intelligence. You learn about yourself, what's going on for you, and learn about what's going on for other people, or else you're not going to be much of a leader. So there's managers who are in charge, but there's leaders who lead. That's different. That's very different. And that's it's an EQ thing. Self-esteem, self-care, self-love. You can understand yourself. You can appreciate and have compassion and empathy for you, and you would like yourself better. You'll cut yourself some slack. You can you can have a purpose. You can find your purpose for living. If you don't have one, get one. Find one, make one, create one, whatever. But what are you here for? It's really important. It's really important. It's probably something bigger than you. It's probably something that's going to outlast you. That's one of the reasons we're doing our nonprofit. It's way bigger than me. It's way bigger than us. We're going for changing the world. And I decided that's my purpose. So what's yours? So EQ helps for teams. It helps in relationships. It helps for families. It helps for schools. It helps for your class. It helps for everybody getting along, and you actually creating culture on purpose. Pretty cool, huh? And bottom line is that you can do, remember I said we can go down in order to go up. We can heal some of the stuff from our past, even the trauma, pain, anger, sadness, trauma, all of it from the past. We can heal all that stuff so that we can live fully and powerfully and wonderfully and peacefully in the present and create the best life, that we can for ourselves and those we love in the future. Pretty cool, huh? And how much does all that cost again? Oh yeah, nothing. None of this stuff costs anything. You don't need anything or anybody to do emotional intelligence. None of it. So here's a big question. A lot of people argue about, were we born with it? Were we born with it? I say, heck yes, we were born with it. We were born with all kinds of emotions. We're only born with a couple of fears. We have our emotions intact, I should say. We're not born with a bunch of negative emotions. Only negative emotions we're born with are, and you can argue about this, and some people have, that I've been taught that you only have two fears when we're growing up. Well, I mean, when we're born. A fear of loud noises, bam, right? A kid will still jump, or a fear of falling. They know if they're falling. So if you're born with only those two fears, that's really, really, really good news, you guys, because that means that all the other stuff that you're now afraid of and all the stuff that you're angry about, you learned it along the way. You picked it up, you made it up along the way, basically. And so you can change it. If it's not working for you, or you don't like it, you learned it, you can change it. It's yours. That's where I want to be the control freak and be in charge of myself. If it's them that did it to me, I don't know if I can change that. But if I did it to me, oh yeah, I could change it. Yeah, I'm not very powerful to change others or to change what's happening around me, but I'm pretty darn powerful to change me. And that is very, very, very good news, right? We are born with super high emotional intelligence. Kids are babies, brand new babies, know when they feel, and they not know what they feel, but they feel what they feel. They feel what they feel. And when they notice that, when they we have a 3-month-old granddaughter, and she came out just pretty calm. She was pretty calm, and she was pretty peaceful, right? when she just first came out, I mean, there was a little hiccup at the beginning, but once she got her needs met and she was warm and dry, she was fine. She was fine. That's a natural state. That's our natural state, you guys. We're not born with a bunch of anger and fear and sadness and all this stuff. We're not. We pick that stuff up along the way. That's really good news. We're born with high EQ. The bad news is that it's downhill from there. We can't keep that up. We don't keep it up. A lot of times we have trauma in our lives and bam, our emotions go down real fast. Otherwise, sometimes it's slower with dysfunction, or normal life. Just being a kid is painful. Kids are so mean to each other, and a lot of it is because of lack of emotional training. So, and lack of empathy and that kind of thing. So a lot of times we're shutting down as we go. So we're born with everything we need, and it's downhill from there. Right? But maybe not. Maybe we can change that. Maybe we can stop that downward spiral and do better. So, how do we do that? We are born, like I said, with plenty of positives. If you know little babies, most of them are born pretty calm, right? And pretty happy most of the time until they have something they need. And then you deal with that and they go back to being calm. Well, we're the same way. We can get back to our positives by dealing with and releasing our negatives. Pretty cool, huh? Makes it sound, it's simple. I mean, it is simple, but that's not so easy, but it can be done. It can be done. It's teachable skills and it's stuff you can learn, and we can deal with our negatives. We can deal with our mental health problems. We can deal with them. We just got to learn how. That's what we're doing here. So, and it all starts with thoughts. All right. It all starts with thoughts. If you think some nice stuff, you're going to feel some nice stuff. If you think of yucky stuff, you're going to feel yucky stuff. The good news is you can change your thoughts. The greatest discovery our generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. As you think, so shall you be, right? As you think, so shall you be. So deal with your thoughts. It's important. Okay, so here's a place with a whole bunch of feeling vocabulary. People are, I mean, it's good to have a whole list of words that you can describe your inner world. This is a list of 4,000 of them. I think they're up to 5,000 now. It's good to know, to be able to describe your inner world, at least to yourself, certainly to yourself and then to others. But it's also cool to sum it up to the big three. I call them big three. There's other arguments about how many basic core emotions there are. A lot of science about it and a lot of disagreement about it. And this is my way. This is just what I think. So fear, anger, sadness are the big three. I'm saying that if we can deal with our fear, our deepest fears, our biggest anger, and our most profound sadness in our body, if we can deal with those three things, just those three, there just really isn't that much that life can throw at us that we can't handle. It just can't. So, I mean, we can handle, if we can handle these, we can handle life, pretty much anything. It's wild. So learn about yourself, learn about those big three negatives and how to deal with them. The big three positives are joy, peace, and love. And they are different and they are all relevant, and they are all wonderful. And we get good at all three of them, hopefully. But here's the kicker to the whole thing. And this is one of the most important things about emotional intelligence. No matter what happens outside of us, we have the power to control what happens inside of us. That is, to me, has been the best news in my life. The best news of my life. Somebody asked me in the last workshop, how did I get from being business management major to teach this stuff? And it was out of need. It was out of need. I was a mess as a kid. And I thought my parents sent me to a psychiatrist in 6th grade. And I was not handling it well. We moved a whole bunch, and attachment disorder and stuff like that because of my dad was in the military, and I didn't handle it very well, and they didn't know what to do with me. So I thought there was a whole bunch of real big problems with. So did they with me, and it turned out well. I had a couple problems, but I also had didn't know how to deal with my thoughts and feelings. No idea, and they didn't have any idea either. When I found out that that was the problem, I was very happy, very happy that it was just my feelings. Like, oh, okay, I just need to understand myself better. Cool. And I also found out at that same time that nobody else knows how to deal with them either. And then I thought, you know what? I need to tell people this is important. The people are dying to know what we know about EQ for real. They are dying to know what we know about EQ. And so somebody's got to teach them. And I don't see people are trying to teach them, but I got to do my part. So that's what I decided to do with my life. So that's what I'm doing here. That's why I'm here jumping up and down, making an idiot of myself in front of you, because I think this is really important and I want to get it out. So here's how this works. Here's how this works. I've been trying to, I'm not that smart, so I need things to be really, really simple. And here's how I think it works. Okay. So outside, things happen, right? Things happen. Step one, things happen outside of us. They just do. We then have a thought and a feeling about what happened. Well, guess what? That means that you just brought it inside of you. It was outside, stuff happened, and it, because it does, but our reaction or response, our perception of what happened, that's ours. And so we then have a thought about what happened. Oh, that's a good thing. And so I feel a good thing, or oh, that was a bad thing that had just happened. So now I feel badly, whatever. Those are now it's our problem. Those folks that are outside that created the problem or the original event, they don't know that we're feeling and thinking all this stuff, and they may or may not care that we're thinking all this stuff, but we are. So now it's our problem, right? And that's a good thing because now I can do something with it because it's mine. So what do? First, awareness. Again, always first is awareness. I got to be aware or I can't do anything about it. So, oh, I'm having a thought. Oh, I'm having a feeling. That's it. Awareness. Oh, mindfulness, consciousness, personal growth, whatever you want to call it. I'm just being aware, right? Second, acceptance. This sounds like an easy, simple little thing. It's not. I mean, it's simple, but it's not easy sometimes. We are accepting what happened. We are accepting what we thought about it. We're accepting what we feel about it. We're accepting responsibility for how we thought and felt about it. Right? That's a very, very important part of this whole thing, is that we are accepting that we made our own thoughts and feelings. They didn't do it to us. And accepting that allows us to change it. It allows us to change it. Otherwise, we become a whiner, blamer, victim kind of thing. They did it to me, poor me. Oh my gosh, it's them. They're, it's the school, it's my parents, it's the government, it's the pandemic, it's all this stuff did this to me. No, I did it to me. That's good news. I did it to me. That's good news. So I'm aware and I accept my thoughts and my feelings. I then evaluate them. How's that? Is that gonna? Yeah. Is that how I want? Is that the thought I want? Is that? Yeah. That was a pretty good one. Or no, I didn't like that one. I'm gonna make a new thought. I'm gonna adjust it. I'm gonna spin it to win it. I like hashtag spin it to win it. So you can adjust things and go. You know what? I would like giving people a benefit of the doubt, or assuming that maybe they're doing the best that they can, and it's not necessarily against me, that kind of thing. You can adjust your thoughts to make them work better for you, and you can feel better. So you evaluate what's happened. You can then make a decision based on what your thoughts and your feelings, right? Think it makes sense and it feels good. And then we can take some action, which now is back outside. So we went outside the event. The feelings and emotions were processed. They came inside. We made them. Well, we made them. They didn't come inside. We made them. So now they're inside. Now we're going to do something with them, or not. We're going to do something with them or not. And that's the thing. And we get to decide. That's where the freedom lies. That's where our growth and our freedom lies, is in the decision to do something about it or not do anything. Not doing something is often a good idea, especially with strong emotions. Keep your mouth shut, right? But the good news is that if you choose not to do something, it's you choosing not to do something. It's not them made you anything. You choose. That means you are in charge of you. You're in charge of your life. That's good news, right? Right? So you take action or not, a bunch of actions become your behaviors and who you are and what you do. And that's the life results that you get. So inside, outside, inside, back outside again, kind of how it works. Here's a summary of that. Again, inner world is your thoughts and feelings. Outer world is your actions and results. See where I'm going with that. So here again, here is the most important thing of this whole darn thing. If you don't take anything away from this, please take away that they are your thoughts, your feelings, your decisions, your actions, your values, your attitudes. They're yours. Nobody makes them. You do. There's nobody inside your head making you do anything, or inside your heart. You're doing that. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Learn about you and learn how to deal with that. But first, take responsibility. To me, this is the tipping point. This is where you're either going to do well or you're not going to do well. Really, this is where you're going to do well or not well. If you think you're in charge of you, you could do all kinds of stuff. If you think they are in charge of you, yikes. Look out. It's not going to be happy life for you. All right, probably. So this is the tipping point. So they're yours, you guys. They're yours. Trust me, they're yours. Awareness, acceptance, action, AAA. Awareness, action, okay, and or acceptance, okay, and all right. What am I going to do about it? If anything. So, are you willing? Here we go. This is a question for you. You decide. You can put it in the chat or not. Are you willing to make a commitment to yourself to learn about emotional intelligence? Are you willing to accept your emotions more than you did before? Are you? How would you do that? How do you do that? What are you changing? What are you committing to change, or at least be aware of? And what can you do? What can you do to learn more about you? What, more classes, more meditation, more talking to people, more support, more writing, journaling, look inside and learn about yourself and see how you work and watch yourself and try different things. We call it shopping. People usually like shopping. We're shopping for new actions. We're shopping for new thoughts. We're shopping for new feelings. And you go, oh, no, I don't think that. No, I don't want that one. No, I'm going to try this one. No, I don't want that one either. Oh, here we go. This one works good. I'm going to buy this one. So you get to choose. You get to choose from here on. It's up to you. So I strongly suggest that you commit to yourself to learn more about your emotional intelligence. Positive mental health comes from knowing, accepting. Know again is awareness, accepting, and then express your feelings in productive, acceptable ways. Dumping your feelings on somebody else is not necessarily, that's not cool. That's not cool. You don't need someone else to express yourself. So let's try a quiz, shall we? Let's try a quiz. This is a 7-second question quiz. If you feel bold, please put your answers in the chat. All the answers are 1 through 5. All we're doing is rating these 7 different questions. There's 1 is no, and 5 is yeah, for sure. So how are you in there? And it's just going to give you 7 different areas, and you decide, are you pretty good at that or not so good at that, right? Based on 1 through 5. And if you would, just throw your answers in the chat. So here comes the first question. First question is always awareness. So when your body feels something, when you feel fear, anger, sadness, shame, guilt, any of that stuff, how do you notice it? How aware are you of your own feelings? 1 through 5 in the chat. Ready, go.
Students, answer the quiz. You understand the question? When your body feels something, how will you notice it and become aware of your feelings? Not at all means you put 1. Not well means 2. So I will understand means 3. Mostly good, I will understand 4. Yes, I'm excellent, 5. So you rate your feeling on a scale.
Cool. Well, everybody's right. I'm getting a number of responses, but they're responding to me directly. I'd like you to do it more publicly. It's just a number, but it's up to you, I guess. So I got some 2s and some 5s and 3s. So I appreciate you at least looking, and you can do it to me directly or publicly. It's up to you. Okay, so we're aware first, right? Okay, so second, acceptance, same as I was saying before, acceptance. So is it okay with you? Is it okay with you when you feel something, when you feel mad or sad or afraid? Is it okay? Do you accept your feelings, or do you judge and deny yourself and tell yourself names and shut yourself down and big boys don't cry and you know, girls cry too much and you know, all kind of judgments that we have about our feelings? How are you with your sense of your own feelings? 1 through 5. Okay, if you don't want to put it in the chat, that's fine. Go ahead and keep score though. Keep score, because we're going to get a score at the end. So figure out what your number is and put it down. So I got some 2, 3, 4s. Okay. Good. Okay. All right. It's not a competition, and it's not a judgment about if you're a lower number. Just know. So now you know. So you accept yourself more, and you accept your negative emotions more, and not judge them so much. So good to know, right? Good to know. It's not, we don't have judgment about our judgment. Well, we might. So third one, identification. When you notice that you're feeling something, how well do you identify the feeling you are having? How well can you separate and name your feelings correctly? This is pretty important, but it's more important to accept them, but it's helpful a lot of times to identify, what the heck? What am I feeling? Oh, that is fear. Or, oh, you know what? I'm feeling really anxious today. And it's not well, it can be a mood, but it's if you can identify it specifically, more specifically, it's really helpful. What we're finding in teaching little kids, the teachers start the day with a clean check-in, kind of I did at the beginning. I said, so what are you feeling? In just a word or two, we put up on the board a list of feeling words, and also faces: happy face, sad face, smiley face, scared face, right? And so the kids can identify, and you just go around the room and ask them, what are you feeling right now? That's all. That's simple little exercise. Simple. It has amazing results, really amazing results, because that means acceptance, identification, awareness, separation, validation. You can go, one kid says, I'm angry, and 2 or 3 other kids go, I'm angry. You know what? How cool is that? I'm not the only one. I'm not alone in this whole thing. Other people feel like I do. I'm not crazy like I did, like I thought when I was younger. I'm just feeling something, and that's okay. And I don't have to make any drastic, I don't have to do anything. There's a slide in here about what do you do about a problem? What do you do about a problem? I got a problem. What am I going to do about it? Versus what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with that? That's different. What are you going to do about it is action. What are you going to do with it is your thoughts and your feelings. So being able to identify what you're feeling is really helpful. So I call it, my hashtag is name it to tame it. Sometimes just understanding what you're feeling, you're like, oh, okay, all right. And then you can either let it go, or you can understand it better. And it really helps to be able to identify it. But don't get stuck in that. It's more important to let it go. But anyway, so awareness first, right? And then acceptance, and then identification. Next is expression. Okay, I realize that I have a feeling inside of me. So how well do I express that and let it out of my body, as opposed to stuffing it down? Like I said, you don't have to express it on somebody else. You can express yourself to yourself, or you can just express the emotion out of you. You can let go of the emotion out of you, and without putting it onto somebody else. The idea is to get it out of you. It's not onto them. Unless that's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do sometimes, but you know what I'm saying? It doesn't require that you dump on somebody to deal with your anger. That you don't. You can deal with your anger, and they don't even have to be in the room. We have this an exercise called the empty chair syndrome, or exercise, where you put an empty chair in the middle of the room, and you stand up, and the person you're upset about you picture them in the chair, and you talk to them, tell them what you need to tell them. They do not need to be there, but you are expressing yourself. You are releasing your stuff. and it doesn't have to hurt anybody and be any. That's emotional responsibility. That is the difference between complaining and venting. Venting is kind of magical. Complaining is venting is right? That you can get it out of your body. Your body does not want to carry this crap around. They do not want to carry this stuff around in your body. You do. It's your judgments and your limitations and stuff that keep it in your body. Your body does not want to carry it around. Trust me, it does not. It's going to thank you for that. So expression. So get good at expressing. Okay. Now that you expressed it, you got to let it go. Sometimes people express. They're angry and they keep being angry. They're missing this step here. Okay, now that you're okay, you were angry. Now let it go. Let it go. Once your body feels a negative feeling, how good are you at letting it go and let it dissipate out of your body? Your body doesn't want it. Your body doesn't want it. And they're making a bunch of connections these days between our emotional instability. Well, I don't know, emotional issues and physical problems. If you don't deal with your emotional issues, you're going to have physical problems as an adult, and it's ugly. Some of the ugliest diseases and stuff that we have, they're associating them with unresolved emotions as a child. So get good at this. Release it. Let your body heal. Let your body chill. Let your body not feel what you want it to be, this stuff, right? But you what we call feel it to heal it. You express it, and then you let it go. Let it go. So here's something that a lot of people never even considered before, is that once you let it go, you can replace it. Right? There is a hole. I carry, a lot of people carry anger in their neck or in their back or in their shoulders, whatever. And it's in there. It's real. It's real. It doesn't seem like it, but it's real. And you can do something with it. Go find it. You can accept it. You can understand it. Take a look at it. Okay, that's what I got. All right, now I can let it go. And then once I let it go, I can then replace it. There's a space, there's an empty space in there. We can replace it with positives and just let it fill back up, or take in sometimes a color. We use a color to flow and pour it on me. And I got this hole and I want to fill it up with like this beautiful blue or this a solid green. I'm looking at trees out my back window, green, and whatever it is for you that works good for you. And you go in there and with a little sponge and dry, rub the walls and caress and be gentle with you, and replace those negatives that you let go of with some nice positives like love and peace. Right? It's pretty cool. And then lastly, once you've gone through all these steps, is how did you do? How did you encourage yourself and respect your true feelings? Complimenting yourself. Are you okay with you? This is kind of the basis to self-esteem and such, is that it's like, hey, good job. That's me telling me, good job. So here's the summary: awareness, acceptance, identification, expression, release, replace, ta-da, rejoice. So how'd you do? How'd you do? You can put it in the chat if you want to, but how'd you do? Higher's better, of course. If you like I said, we don't have any very much formal training on any of this stuff. So if you have any measure of emotional intelligence, it's because you probably made it up on your own. So how'd you do? High, medium, low? If you're pretty high, great, congratulations, well done. Keep doing that. And teach somebody else, show other people how you did that. That's pretty cool. If you're medium, do some work on it. And if you're low, do some work on it. Okay, it's up to you. But all right, so that's our quiz. I hope that was helpful, and I think it's helpful to know those steps in order and how you're doing in each step both at the same time. So how did it go for you? Did that work for you? Did it fit for you? Do you agree? How can you improve? How can you make it better? Interpersonal communications. This is about, we've been talking about me. Now we're going to talk about us, and us being with others. number one skill, I manage a bunch of social media sites. One of them has 275,000 people in it on a Facebook site called Emotional Intelligence. I have a link to it later. If you want to join that, it's pretty cool how that many people are interested in emotional intelligence, and it's one of the most active groups I've ever seen. And they're really trying to figure stuff out. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. There's some great conversations and great skills and concepts in there. So we asked, what is the number one skill? And by far it was empathy for EQ. What is the biggest skill? Is empathy. And empathy starts with you. You start with you first. So yeah, have some compassion and empathy for yourself, not judgment, not putting yourself down, not calling yourself names, not any of that stuff. You have some empathy for you, especially little you. Go inside and remember you as a child and have some compassion. Okay, so empathy is about focus on others, listening with soul, SOUL, and that is stop, open up your heart, I was saying before, and listen. So if you listen to people like that, you are going to be their best buddy in the world, and they're going to love you and they're going to appreciate you and that kind of thing, because it's really important. People want to talk, and they want a safe place. They want somebody safe to talk to. And if you can be that person, you're going to be hugely valuable to them. And that is about stop, open your heart up and listen to them, or stop, open up and love is another way to put it. Curiosity, it's not judgment, it's curiosity. So what'd you think about that? Or what'd you feel about that? Or what do you think? Another good one I like is, what was the thought behind your feeling? If they have feeling a bunch of stuff, what did you think just before you felt that? And that's where the problem is. And people go, oh, and they go, what's another way you could have thought of that, or you could think of that? And so that's that spin it to win it. You can adjust it a little bit. So adjust your thoughts. It'll affect your feelings. It's the basis of CBT. And judgment, you can accept people without approving. You don't have to like what they're saying, but you can still accept that that's real for them, if it's real for them. So be careful what you say, and be mindful of what you're talking about, and be respectful, and don't judge, and don't give them advice unless they want it. That's another big one. And appreciate that they're unique. They're going to be different than you. They think probably different than you do, and that's okay. And just like, back to curiosity, like, that's interesting. I never thought of it that way, kind of thing. So appreciate uniqueness there. There's capacity to understand, there's action of understanding, there's ability to understand. So empathy is really important. Empathy is also a guess. Empathy is a guess. So know that you could be wrong about what you're guessing that they're feeling. You can ask them. Sometimes they don't know, and sometimes you don't know, and sometimes they don't even know. So, but you're just guessing, but give them the benefit of the doubt, kind of thing. There are 3 different types of empathy. See the symbol in the bottom left, that is 6 seconds. This is from 6seconds.org. They're one of the they are the biggest EQ trainer in the world, and they are they have a lot of great stuff. A bunch of that TFA and some of these other slides are from them. So I'll put it in the chat, but it's go to it's the number 6seconds.org for EQ training. Lots of good stuff there. Assessments and certifications and trainings and all kind of good things. So do your empathy. So this is another one. We were going to do a breakout, but we're not. Who is your role model? Who do you feel that who's the happiest, most peaceful person you know? I wrote this wrong, actually. The happiest and most peaceful person you know, or they can be real or imagined. Or somebody from a movie. But just trying to get a feel, or from a book or whatever. It can be a fictional character. what are some of the things that they say or do, or how do they live, or how do you think they think? How do you think they think? How did they get that way? How could you be more like them if you wanted to be happy and peaceful? How can you do that? So again, it's really helpful to have a picture and a feeling of where you want to go with this. So that's what we're trying to create here. So look for role models is bottom line of the whole thing. If you don't have one, look for some. If you have one, great, or 2 or 7, great. And try to be one for other people. Maybe you can be the role model that they've been looking for. Cool, huh? It's also really, really helpful when we disconnected. We're a lot disconnected. And so it's really helpful for us to have a buddy. If you had a buddy and who was supporting you, what would that look like? What do you need? What kind of things would you need? What's to be the best that you can be? Do you need encouragement? Do you need ideas? Do you need someone to just listen to you while you vent? That's cool. That's very cool. Do you need someone to hold your hand as you go? Someone to tell you you're going to be okay? That kind of thing. What do you need? What would you need from somebody if you had somebody? And go find somebody. So, and this is kind of funny. We were someone on our board was in the army for years and years, and they call them battle buddies. They did this for real, but it was your buddy of when you go into battle, and so he was there for you. So is that what you need? Is your life about a battle, and you want somebody there with you as you fight? That's a real thing. A lot of people are in a bad place or having hard times, and you need someone there for you when you're fighting. Or are you looking for peace? Are you looking for peace and you want someone to help you feel peaceful? Right. So it's good. First off, this is awareness and acceptance of yourself. So what would you need? What do you need? And what can you offer them? And bottom line, try and find someone that you can do this with, and you can be intentional about it. You can ask. That's a big part of emotional intelligence. I should put that in here. I never have, but asking is a huge part of emotional intelligence. Asking for help, asking for clarity, asking for people, what do you think or what do you feel? Asking, what do you need? That kind of thing. Ask. Would you be willing to? That kind of stuff. Ask. And safety, very super important, starting with safety of you. That's you being safe to you. That's about you not judging you and putting yourself down and shutting yourself down. It's about you being safe to you first, and you being safe to other people next, and you also creating safe places for yourself so you can be safe, so you can feel, so you can be who you want to be. So you want to hang around with safe people, and you want to create, and if they're not so safe or they do things that aren't cool, that you can say so, and you can ask them not to do it anymore, kind of thing. And you can create an environment for yourself that is warm and safe for you. That requires some respect and of yourself and others. Acceptance does not mean approval, like I said, and feelings matter a lot. It's sometimes the details in the story don't make that much difference. What matters is the feeling. That's where we're like, oh, okay, now we're getting to it. So how did that feel to you? And then shut up and listen to the answer with soul, right? Safety is a key. If you can make it safe for people to feel their feelings with you, you become super valuable to them. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give, or grandparents now. And I've found that is really true, is that if I can make it safe for our kids to be able to come to me when they're having problems or they're feeling something or they're confused or whatever, they can come to me and I can be a safe place for them to vent or whine or whatever they're, whatever, just explore inside, just talk, because talking, it helps. It really helps us to be able to form the words and get some validation that people are not saying you're crazy, but you're just acceptance. Then you're like, oh, okay, all right. I got it. I heard it. A lot of times people can talk things through and they go, oh, thank you so much for listening. That was so helpful. I'm like, I didn't say anything. Like, exactly. You didn't have to say anything at all. You're just were a safe place and an extra person to listen to. It's a beautiful thing. Again, how much does that cost? Same price, nada. So the ability to open and close our heart. We got empathy and connection and belonging. Very, 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 very important for us humans. stop, open up and listen, or shut up, open up and listen and love. Listen, number one communication skill, listen for feelings. Listen for feelings. The details don't matter. A lot of times they don't matter. And if you interrupt people, they're feeling stuff, and you interrupt them to get some clarity on the details and that kind of stuff, don't do it. Let them feel. Let them feel. Sometimes it doesn't even make much sense. But if they can go with their feelings and then talk them through and then release them, then you are a hero and you didn't have to say a word. A lot of times it's pretty cool. And also making their feelings like, oh, you sound angry, and that's okay, but don't hurt anybody, and use it properly. Anger can be the most destructive feeling and one of the most healing feelings, most motivational feelings, most wonderful feelings. Anger is one of my specialties. I like to deal with it a lot because so few people know how to deal with their anger or even want to talk about it, and they deny the heck out of it. And anger is huge, and it's a life changer for a lot of people to get in touch with their anger and to be able to use it properly. We do not have to walk around angry all the time. We can have anger in our toolbox, our emotional toolbox that's set over here beside. We do not have to walk around like this. If we need our anger and somebody does something and we need to fire up, we can grab our anger out of our toolbox and we can be angry. We can keep our boundaries. Hey, that's not cool. Don't do that to me, or don't do that to him, or that kind of stuff. You can grab your anger tool whenever you need it, and then you set it back down. I love you. Don't do that again. You can differentiate between the behavior and the person. You can say, I did not like that behavior. You are great. I love you, like your kids or whatever, or your friends or your family. I love you, but don't do that behavior again. That makes me angry, or kind of thing, right? So, and here's another thing. This is one of my things, is that people tried, and in being loving and thinking they're being helpful, try to stop people from feeling what they're feeling. I do the opposite. I try to get them to keep going. If you are brave enough to cry, to start crying, and you're there in your heart and you're in that area, in your sadness area, great. What else? Let's get it all out while you're in there. You're already uncomfortable. It's already happening. You're already soaking wet. Let's get it all out of there. What else? I always go, what else? What else are you sad about? What else? Go on, keep going, and let them feel, and don't try to stop them. Let them feel. If they're out of control, that's not cool. But if you're, breaking things or, throwing stuff around, that's not cool. But if you just are feeling, let them feel. Let yourself feel when you have feelings. Let yourself feel. Oh, and if you cry and you keep crying and you don't get any relief, it's because there's anger. Check out your anger also. If you're angry and you get no relief, you probably need to cry. So check that out. It's interesting. They're different. They're very, very different, and they're both important. So communication, speaking, sharing your intent. Boundaries are a good thing. Boundaries are a wonderful thing. Boundaries set you free. Boundaries are held up with your anger tool, fortified with your anger tool. Okay, and we get to have boundaries, you guys. We get to say, this is okay with me, this is not okay with me. We get to have our personal space. Some rules of engagement: just being fair in your fighting. Don't put downs, no name calling, sarcasm, judgments, threats, all that stuff. Don't do it. If you're gonna express your emotions and you want to have a relationship, then you try to be honest and clear by using I messages. I feel, I think, not you did this to me, and you're this, and you that, and you never, and you always, and any of that other generalized garbage. I feel this. You can't argue with that. I'm feeling this. You can't argue. It's not going to be an argument about it. It's not debatable, right? You could be exploring it, but you know what I mean. If you talk about what you're good at, what you're real, what you can report on, then it's you. If you're talking about them, they're gonna, right? A lot of times what they did to you. So this, again, responsibility thing, but you can do things like I appreciate, and I would like, and I expected, right? If something didn't go well, or I would like, or a big one that I use is I suggest. I suggest doesn't mean that they're awful if they don't do it. It means I suggest the best I can. So, or I have a judgment about. Emotional yoga is a kind of cool concept. It's just about that, you know, in yoga, you get in a position and you hold it and you hold it and you hold it, even though it's uncomfortable, and you hold it so that you could strengthen that area of your body, right? Or that energy. Well, it's same thing with emotions. You can go in and be sad and be sad and be sad and let yourself be as sad as you can be and hold it and hold it. And then let it go, kind of like yoga. It's pretty cool. And you can do that. You can practice and you get better at your negative emotions on purpose. Again, how much does that cost? All right, we're getting to the end here. Awareness, acceptance, action. Aware, we have thoughts and feelings, accept that you have thoughts and feelings and they're yours. And then what are you going to do with them or about them? Here it is. Here's that one. I should put this up sooner. What are you going to do about a problem? What are you going to do with a problem? Those are very different and they're both relevant. So takeaways, accept emotional responsibility. Again, biggest thing here, that it's your thoughts and feelings. Learn to live EQ, learn about more EQ, learn to be a model, and please share it with others. Please share it with others. It's really important that we tell other people about it because they don't know and they don't know that they don't know. So learn, practice, share, ask people, what is it? Have you ever heard of emotional intelligence? Have you ever heard? I do that all the time. People, I don't even know. I'm like, have you ever heard of emotional intelligence? And you come up with some great answers. Whether they do or not, then you have a cool conversation because now you're talking about emotions and you'll be surprised. It's really good conversation starter or deepener. If you want to get closer with somebody, try it. Have you ever heard of emotional intelligence? And start talking about that, about being smarter about your emotions. How good are you at it, etc. So here's some resources for you. We can provide the PowerPoint afterward and you can get these links if you want. And here's how you can connect with me. We can be friends if you like. Here's our nonprofit, EQ4Peace.org. You can join us, and we have big plans and big project to teach the whole world and get it into all the schools, because it's just wrong that kids don't learn this in school. I was very disappointed with my education because I didn't learn any of this stuff in my schools. I had to make it up afterward, and that's not cool. So we can teach people now. So we did it. All right. End of presentation. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you can take something away from this and use your emotions better for yourself and for others around you. It's a big deal. It's a very, very big deal. So did anybody learn anything here? Was it helpful at all? And what do you take away from this? All right, I got a couple thank yous. Thank you for the thank yous. Appreciate that. All right, everybody's writing to me directly, so that's cool. I got a wonderful presentation. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much, sir. Before going for vote of thanks, I would like to share one video for the sake of our students, a small video.
Great.
After that, we will have some discussion, question and answers, and then formal vote of thanks.
Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Perspective by Priya. As I say, perspective matters. Today I have come up with the cockroach theory. Yes, you heard me right. I'm talking about the cockroach. So it so happened that at a restaurant, a cockroach suddenly flew from somewhere and sat on a woman. That woman panicked and started screaming out of fear. "Oh my God, cockroach, ah!" With terror on her face, she started jumping with both her hands dreadfully moving to get rid of the cockroach. Her reaction was contagious, and people on nearby tables also got panicky. Soon the lady managed to push the cockroach away, but it landed on a boy sitting on the other table. Now it was the turn of that boy to spread the alarm. He was disgusted at the sight of the insect, and he also started shouting, "You cockroach, go away from me." One of the waiters rushed forward to his rescue. In the hustle and bustle, the cockroach next fell upon the waiter. The waiter stood firm and composed. He further used the shush gesture to make everyone quiet. He observed the behavior of the cockroach on his shirt. When he was confident enough, he grabbed it with his fingers and threw it away from that place. Now what? The question is, was the cockroach responsible for their dramatic and panicky behavior? You may say yes. If so, then why was the waiter not disturbed? He handled the situation without any chaos. It was not the cockroach, but the inability of that woman and that boy to handle the disturbance caused by the cockroach. When other people shout at us, it is not their shouting that disturbs us, but our inability to handle the disturbances caused by their shouting that disturbs us. It is not the traffic jam on the road that disturbs us, but our inability to handle the disturbance caused by the traffic jam that disturbs us. More than the problem, it is our reaction to the problem that causes chaos in our life. Then what's the lesson? What's this cockroach theory all about? It is all about one thing: try not to react, always respond. The first two persons reacted, whereas the waiter responded. Reactions are always intuitive, instinctive, whereas responses are always well thought of and unbiased to save a situation from going out of hands. Responses help us to avoid cracks in relationships and making wrong decisions. So avoid taking decisions in rage, nervousness, tension, or panic. Respond, not react. To know more about
a small video which was with me, I would like to share that. So an excellent talk by Mr. Matt. Sir, really we are enlightened with your speech, and students from different disciplines of psychology, human development, and food technology, food science, nutrition. It may be a new topic for some, but I think you might have now understand what is emotional intelligence and how it helps for our inner peace. So as you have learned throughout this session, so emotional, first the circle is that what we feel, then that will act, and then it shows in our behavior. So if you start thinking about our feelings and our emotions, at one point in time, you will understand what is happening. And in newspapers, we heard about so many suicides, especially by adolescents. When we heard such news about the sad incidents, we really feel bad about that. The reason behind is lack of this emotional intelligence. One should be able to manage their emotions. One should understand their own emotions and others' emotions. And also, another important thing is empathy. So when you show empathy towards others, then majority of the problems will be solved. Just in the video, we have seen that in a traffic jam, if you empathize with others who are stuck in the traffic, then we may not get angry about about the situation. So just as Mr. Matt has explained, so the reasons for anger is within ourselves. So if you plan accordingly, if you respond instead of reacting, then we will develop our inner peace, and we can develop our interpersonal relationships and also a happy and successful life. Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us on this topic. And we'll ask students if they have any questions related to the topic. We'll have a small discussion, then we'll wind up the session. And now I request students, if you have any doubts or if you want to discuss with an excellent person who has so much of expertise in the topic, you can now ask your questions and you can clarify your doubts. Thank you.
Sir, actually, what is meta-intelligence? You told in the beginning about the meta-intelligence.
Metacognition.
Yeah, metacognition.
Meta-emotions and metacognition.
Yeah, Mr. Pat, may I know what is metacognition or meta-intelligence?
Mr. Matt, kindly unmute. Kindly unmute. One question for you.
Yeah, what was the question? I'm sorry, I missed it. What was your question?
What is metacognition or meta-intelligence, and does it have any effect on us?
Yeah, definitely. We're looking at us this way, but we're looking at us this way also. Metacognition is thinking about what we're thinking about. It's us looking at ourselves and figuring out, the big picture. Our point of view is really, really important. And with emotional intelligence, we can adjust that, right? So we can say, this little thing made me upset, but I often get upset about little things. Wait a minute, I get upset because I don't understand my emotions, right? I can change my point of view from very specific to very generalized. And metacognition is about looking at ourselves in a big way. How do we think about things? How do we feel about things? How do those affect each other? That kind of thing. So does that answer your question? It's really important, I think.
So generally for youngsters, we say always think big, think grow, like that. So
yeah,
you say
partly,
that.
Yeah, that's great. But we think about this in this specific situation, what's the deal? And in general, what's the deal? So both of those, we need both of those, all of those. Yeah.
Thank you.
One question, Mr. Matt. This is Dr. Rajani. What are the emotional intelligence courses are offered? Short courses are there online for the students to do?
Oh, yeah. There's lots of them. Now just Google it. We're starting a couple of certification classes in emotional intelligence pretty soon in India too. So I can get you that information, or Jayan can. There's a bunch of them. 6 Seconds has a bunch of classes. They start with unlocking emotional intelligence. It's like it's two courses, 2 meetings, and then and there's a workbook with it, kind of thing. There's lots and lots of classes on emotional intelligence now, more every day. It's a very, very popular subject now. So Google it.
Yeah, definitely. It's very much needed for the youngsters.
Yeah, it's the need of the hour for sure.
Yeah, to face
for
the
everybody.
challenging situations nowadays.
Yes. Yeah. It's urgent and severe and critical. All that stuff. I'm not being just dramatic. It's people are dying, man, to know what we know. It's really important.
Yeah, thank you.
sad, actually.
Sir, myself, Neeraja. How we can develop emotional intelligence for children? What are the
Show them,
strategies?
talk to them, ask them, read to them, ask them, how did that feel? What do you think? Did you find out what they thought before they had the feeling? Make feelings okay. We got to set a role model for that. We the ones that shut them down. They want to feel, the kids want to feel. We're the ones that shut them down. Make it okay. Tell them your anger's okay with me. You can't hurt anybody. You can't break anything. You don't hurt yourself or others, but you can be angry. It's okay. You can express yourself, and be respectful. Still be respectful too. You can show that my parents. One of the things with my parents was that, for me personally, was that they never told me not to feel stuff, but they never did. And so I don't have any role models of it. I never seen them do, my dad was a military officer. He didn't cry or any of that stuff ever. Now he does, but he never did. And so obviously I'm like, okay, well, that's how guys are. That's how men are, right? That's a little kid. Kids are really good observers, but they're not very good at interpreters. So they see what's happening and then they're like, okay. So they try to figure it out because nobody explained it to them. But if you tell them it's okay to feel, literally it's okay, then they're going to make it okay. It's going to be more okay. And if you show them, it's even better. So in my opinion, it's not just even little kids. We teach this from preschool to PhD, I call it, all the way up. All little kids can understand it. Sometimes they understand it better than we do. We go, you know what? If your body is really sad, if you just let yourself cry for a minute, you'll feel better. And they're like, oh, okay. Okay. It's us that have all the judgments about it. Does that answer your question?
You, thank you.
Yeah, role model is biggest, I think.
If
And talk to
anybody
them about
has
it.
any questions anymore?
There's lots of books too for kids now, lots and lots of books and stories for kids about people dealing with their emotions, about empathy, about understanding, about loving, about on purpose, about compassion, that kind of thing. There's tons of books for kids, lots of them. A lot of them are free too.
Students, do you have any doubts? Would you like to interact with Dr. Matt? Utilize the opportunity. Okay, if nobody has any doubts.
Okay, this has been a good group. Thank you. Thank you again for having me. I very much appreciate being able to talk about this and share with other people. As I said, my mission is to get everybody around. So share it with somebody else. If you found something that's useful, put it to use in your life and share it with somebody. Okay.
We'll have a formal. Again, thank you very much, sir. Now we will have a formal vote of thanks by Dr. Neeraja, academic consultants of the Department of Home Science. Neeraja.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. P. Neeraja, working as an academic consultant, Department of Home Science, SV University. It is such an honor for me to get the opportunity to thank you all the dignitaries. I would like to express my gratitude to all esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. Firstly, I thank our distinguished speaker, Mr. Matt Tailstein, for deliver an excellent presentation and making this webinar a very meaningful and interactive. Thank you, sir. I extend my thanks to Dr. Pratiksha ma'am and Dr. Jain Namboodir sir, CEO Mindcraft India, for their presence and contribution to success of this webinar. Thank you once again. And also I would like to thank Professor K. Anuradha ma'am, Professor and Chairperson, Department of Home Science, SV University, for her contribution in this webinar. Thank you, ma'am. I extend my thanks to Dr. N. Ranjini ma'am, Head of the Department of Psychology, Sri Padmavati Mahila VisvaVidyalayam for your presence to grace the webinar of today's. Thank you, ma'am. My sincere thanks to Dr. K.V. Sucharita, ma'am, Head of the Department of Home Science, SV University, for your presence and contribution to webinar. Thank you, ma'am. Finally, I thank all the participants and people who supported and making the program great success. Thank you, one and all. Thank you for giving this opportunity, ma'am.
Thank you, Neeraja. Really, it is a great time for all of us to be with you all and to be enlightened about the important topic, emotional intelligence and emotional quotient. We have learned a lot from your speech. Thank you once again. Thank you very much, sir. And also I thank Jayan Nambutri sir for accepting to collaborate with all of us and making this World Mental Health Day a meaningful day for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So on behalf of Sri Padmavati Mahila VisvaVidyalayam also, so my sincere thanks to Mr. Matt and Jayan Nambudri Garu for collaborating with us to organize this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Jayan Namudri and Matt. We hope we have further collaborations with you in future also with the departments.
Sure,
Thank you.
sure.